What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is time to talk about my top 10 AEW figures of the year. As you've seen with other list videos such as MDT, I am not going to be including Supreme figures on this collection. Reason being, Cody Rhodes would probably be number one on this list because that figure is absolutely insane. Britt Baker and Kenny Omega would both also be on the list. It just doesn't seem fair. We want to do main releases with the exception of a couple chases, and we will discuss those as we go. But here are my honorable mentions. The reason these guys did not make the top 10 list is because, one, no MJF figure actually made the list for me. But this gear is absolutely sick. I only got it a couple days ago, so I don't want it to have recency bias, if that makes sense. For Cody, his chase figure is absolutely insane. There's so many options you can use if you take the coat off and just use the pants somewhere. Just very many options, and that applies to the Series 4 Cody, the regular version. The only reason I didn't put that on here is because I like it for the pants more so than I like the rest of the figure, if that makes sense. I actually took mine and used it as a Marty Skrull custom. And for Brody Lee, it didn't feel quite right to rank him anywhere on the list. I felt that it would be hard to rank someone like that, so I wanted to include him as an honorable mention. The figure is beautiful. The head scan's perfect. The singlet, the pants, the Dark Order hands, everything's great about it. But here are my honorable mentions. So let's get into the list. For number 10, who else could you have besides the perfect 10, Ty Dillinger? I mean Shawn Spears, the Chase version. This figure is absolutely perfect. I do not have it in hand yet. I have 2 or 3 on the way to me because I am that big of a Shawn Spears fan. I loved him in WWE. This is a newer, edgier version of his perfect 10 gimmick from WWE and NXT. So I know I'm going to love it once it's in hands. I know the body parts that they chose to use for there. I know they have great articulation. So it is a perfect 10 in my book. So I'm going to put it at number 10 just because I don't have it in hand yet. Alright, for number 9 on the list, we have Jade Cargill. And if you're going to have this figure, I recommend getting a custom belt from Dan Turkist on Instagram at Turnkist_fig_belts or custom belts. You guys know what it is. I've posted them many times on my channel. But I love this figure. The face scan doesn't quite do it for me, but everything else, the part choices, the gear, everything about it. And now since then, she's had 1,000 more exciting gears. So it's going to be really cool when we get another release of her. I know she's coming in a 2-pack, I think, with Britt Baker. Hopefully that still comes out. But Jade Cargill is taking a number 9 spot. And if the gear was a little cooler, I could see this being in like my top 4. Also, this is my list. It's not going to be anywhere near anybody else's, so don't get your panties in a wad too much, but definitely leave your comments down below. But number 8 is Walmart CM Punk. Now, I have this how I've had him displayed. It's with a custom CM Punk belt from Turnkiss. Everybody knows about this belt. I've posted about it several times. This is his old Elite 16, I think, t-shirt. And it's just, I love the smiling head sculpt. It is a Trunks Punk without having to get the chase, which was like $150 still to this day, I think. And it's really nice. The only thing that doesn't have this higher on the list is, man, have I like had my opinion on Punk soured over the last few months. And that's the only reason it is down at number 8 on this list. For number 7 on this list, it's kind of a shock, but I am going to include Evil Uno for the simple reason that there is nothing wrong with this figure at all. Like, I know Dark Order is not the most popular out there. It's a really, really solid figure, from the head scan to the upper torso piece to the legs, the paintwork, everything about it. Like, the Evil Uno figure looks really good. And as a bonus addition to this spot, just because it is so like such a cool thing, so I guess you could call this like 7.5. I am going to include -1 because the fact that we got a figure of Brody Jr. in a tribute pack for his father is absolutely insane, and I'm very happy to have that part of my collection. For number 6 on this list, we have our second and final women's figure on the list. I would have had Chris Statlander, but I guess she could be an honorable mention now that I think about it. But the face scan just did not cut it for me. But this one is Series 10, Britt Baker. I love the NWO Wolfpack style gear. Even on the back here, the back of the legs, the teeth on the boots. Like, everything about this figure is really good. The head scan is such an improvement from the first release that it's not even close. This one looks absolutely perfect compared to the first release, and that's kind of what did it for me. Once again, I said her Supreme would be on this list easily. I love the Pittsburgh gear, but I am perfectly fine with putting the Series 10 Britt Baker on this list. Number 5 is Ricky Starks, and once again, you need a custom FTW belt, but Ricky Starks does a lot of cool promo gear. So you could take any pants, put any sort of dress shirt on him. This is the Entrance Greats Chris Jericho shirt on the figure, and it looks perfect. I'm perfectly fine with this. I love putting him in the dress pants for Cody that we talked about, and in jeans of a figure we have coming up later, but Ricky Starks is money right now, and this is just a figure that I think everybody needs to have in their collection. Number 4 is going to be a shocker for a lot of you, but it is one that I probably would have had higher, but man, the backlash would be terrible. But it is the unmatched Shawn Spears. This is just the Kenny Omega Series 4 vest on there. It doesn't really fit him, but I thought it looked cool. The tattooed arm is a huge upgrade. He comes with a gloved hand. He comes with a chairman chair. It is the white and purple Pinnacle gear from their Blood and Guts match. Like, what is there to not love about this figure? Also, this might be AEW's best head scan to date, because they have been struggling lately in that department. I think it's a very, very underrated figure. I'd love to see him get a run with something in the company, but it is easily the number 4 choice on my list. Probably would be even higher if I didn't want to get roasted in the comments. Coming in at the bottom of the top 3, we have Powerhouse Hobbs. I love this figure, but this figure is even better with the smirk head scan. This is just the plain one because I was taking a picture for promo. This figure is so good. The only issue with it is I just don't like the way that it articulates. It doesn't have much range of motion, which is the same issue I have with the Wardlow figures. This figure is still great nonetheless. It captures Hobbs perfectly. It could be a little bulkier, but I'm not going to sit here and nitpick. Hobbs has a great future, and this figure is really good, and it's one you'd never really see sitting on shelves, so definitely pick it up if you have a chance. Coming in at number 2 is a figure that's going to top a lot of people's top 10 lists, but it's not for the reason that you think. And it is the ringside exclusive First Dance CM Punk. Now, this figure is cool for a lot of reasons. It is the night that Punk returned to wrestling after 7 years. It is the first time we've ever gotten a CM Punk without the wrist tape and the hand tape. So we get to see the tattoo on his hand here. It goes all the way down here. It's just it's a nice new thing. Also, we're able to get the Cobra and the Pepsi tattoos. A little bit of, like things I had to change about them, but still, for the most part, we get them. But the best thing the Jazzworks figures have going for them is pop them apart. And you can put these legs with anybody, and it pretty much makes sense. And my favorite person to put them with is the Chase Ricky Starks, because I think this fits the gear for his match against Darby a little bit better than the gear that actually came with the Chase. Also, it's Ricky Starks, and I'm very, very happy with that look. But number 2 is the ringside Punk because of all the things that you can do with the figure. And coming in at number 1 on my top 10 AEW figures of the year, this should come as no surprise to anybody that follows my channel or follows my Instagram account. Number 1 is easily the Series 10 Wardlow. So much, this is the Pinnacle gear, so it matches the Shawn Spears, it matches the MJF that came out, it's gonna match the FTR that comes out. The only thing wrong with this figure is that it should be more tan. They corrected the hair on the back so he has the proper fade, but the only issue is that he should be more tan. That's all I can find wrong with it. I love this figure. The articulation is great. Besides the big guy issue, the same thing that Hobbs has. This figure is top notch, and it is easily my #1 choice of the year for my top AEW figure. Let me know what your top 10 is down in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me why I'm wrong. And last but not least, take it easy. Thanks.